What's up, Kenai? Serena. Hey, Serena girl. There you are. Raphael. You guys want to see the new Vandingo project? You guys are a bunch of dingoes. You want to see it? Can't let you loose outside though. You'll probably go crazy running through the neighborhood. Anyway, you're each gonna get a chance to jump inside of it and go for a ride, okay? All right, gang, it's Scott from Vandingo, and I can tell you I've been a bit distracted of late. I got a van project to finish, but there's some other things that have jumped into my life. My wife and I found something cool and got a wild hair, and I went up and bought it. Check this out. Now it kind of goes down the van arena a little bit, and I'll show you, but here it is. Bam! That is a LandCruiser, Japan market LandCruiser. You can hear the diesel purring away. It runs on pure dinosaur, no doubt. It's an old Smoky, and this is what's called an HZJ77, which is a really well-equipped LandCruiser. It's not a Prado, it's a LandCruiser. So it's automatic. It's got the, diff lock for really intense off-road use. And this one has a really interesting sort of camping package. I'm going to share that with you here in a minute. But I feel like it fits sort of in that van category. It's not a van, but we're going to be doing some camping in this thing for sure. But just fell in love with it. It's so cool, in my opinion. All these Toyota accessories. That's a Toyota all aluminum roof rack. This was came with it. There's a winch. Still got to figure that one out. And air conditioning works. Everything works except for the radio. Got a little bit of an issue right here. Got to get that solved. But love the accessories, the ladder. It's just cool. It's a ZX package, which is the most heavily loaded package. It's on a little bit lifted wheels. It's got some off-road tires. Air conditioning's on, so it's running a little water. And that's it, man. Isn't that cool? That's a distraction of epic proportion, for sure. But I think maybe a good distraction. Time will tell. All right, so maybe let's start with just looking at the sort of the camping setup here. Really cool. I don't think it's factory, but they put drapes and drape runners around the windows all the way here. And just, I can tell you a full 6-footer can lay out in here. And this is a very simple, rudimentary package. There's some water, original from Japan, some water jugs in here that are pretty cool. Let me show you how this thing sits down. You just throw the lever up here on the back seats, bring it down, and then you bring these, got to bring these 2 seats forward a little bit as a part of the process. So we just crank these forward. I can show you on this side. And you bring this sleeping platform up here, and essentially you're ready to go. I mean, this can handle a 6-footer. I stretched out in this thing on the way back from Portland, bought it in Portland, and I had a sleeping bag and just a sleeping pad, and slept like a baby. Closed all of these blinds. There are snaps up here, 3 of them on this side and 3 of them on that side on the B-pillar. And it looks like there was probably another blind drape or something that could be deployed here. And would love to get my hands on that as well, or have one made, because that would really darken up this whole back sleeping area, which would be cool. This is the exact sleeping bag I used and pad for when I Drove it down. I did 2 nights overnighting on the way down to Texas from Portland. It was a little warm. Fortunately, I was at altitude. First night was great. Second night, a bit warm, but no big deal because I had the sunroof we could open up. And these back windows, let me show you these windows. These are cool. All right, so check that out. Each one of these windows is vented. So you can either cruise along when the temperature's really moderate, even a little cooler, and you get super strong ventilation through there from the front of the vehicle, which I think is phenomenal, super cool. So I really do think this was like a custom effort. I don't think this was factory. I don't know. I mean, look how well even the corners were done to make it fit. I mean, a good cabinet fashioner could pull this off, no problem. Upholstery shop. But you take these and move them up there. And then under here, there's some more cool stuff. So pretty common in a 24-volt vehicle. That's right, this LandCruiser, 2 batteries, they're cross-wired to take the 12-volt to 24-volt. So this is a 24-volt back down to 12-volt for whatever you need. But let's say your AM/FM system needs to run off of 12. I haven't figured out quite what this is wired to, but that's pretty common for LandCruisers of this vintage. So kind of bear with me here because I haven't figured out this whole thing just yet, but you fold this back. And here, first of all, there's feet here. So I think you can pull this out and put it on the ground, which is interesting to me. Okay, you can pull that out and put it on the ground. Inside of here was a freshwater container from Japan, obviously. And what looks like, I don't know, another container to maybe run dishes or something, because this was in here. And if you put it together, you got like a little sink with a hose that went from here to the sink, so you could set up a camping spot and set up what I think is a whole freaking table outside of your camping area or outside of your truck to help support your camping area. So I definitely think this is like a home gamer approach, particularly when I start looking at this, and it's just some rudimentary cabinet work. And when you look over there, the struts and support that hold that end up, I mean, some home gamer decided, you know what? I'm going camping. I'm going camping with my family. So I think that's really cool. Don't think this will make the final grade, meaning it'll stay, but this is a really cool surprise to find this in here. And I think this whole thing comes out as an outside table. It looks like it was used as a table. Just cool. And this is that home gamer feel over here in terms of that support piece right there. Now later in Japan domestic market LandCruisers, there were camping edition vehicles. I think they're in 100 series, certainly 80 series and 100 series, and I'm not sure about 70 series in Japan market. This was only a 3-year run vehicle in the Japan market, so it was highly upgraded compared to the 70 series you see globally. So maybe this was the forebearer to what came next, which was camping units in the back of these that came from Toyota. But again, I don't think this one came from Toyota like this. I think some industrious Japanese LandCruiser owner said, you know what? I'm going to camp back here. And he figured it out. He or she figured it out and made it happen. And it works, which is crazy. These fit great. The engineering was good. Again, a little rudimentary, but it works great. All right, I want to show you these curtains real quick because they're cool. This looks like an accessory runner that was probably glued up here. It actually's got a little piece there that wasn't quite the full extension. And then same down here, I think just glued to the door panel. And then Velcro applied here and here. And it's really pretty simple. And this is a really sort of thick woven, I think, you know, Japanese textile product. And you just slide this across, right? And there is Velcro on the drape itself. And you get it out across here and put the Velcro on, attach it. And this does a really nice job of darkening the windows, obviously. So super cool. And again, so easy to just detach and move back. And it fits just like that. When you roll the windows down, this buffets a little bit, but not bad. And the reason I think it doesn't buffet as much as it would in a typical vehicle is because of these rain deflectors on the windows. I don't know why more American cars don't have these. You can drive in a rainstorm, not one that's going sideways, but one that's coming down. And this does a super job of protecting the occupants. Really simple to put together. In this case, they're not the glued on kind that you see a lot of times from the WeatherTechs and beyond. These have there's screws in here. I mean, the hardware and the quality is really strong. So I'm already eyeballing that rack up there for, in my case, a Yakima awning. I got the Big Shady, and I'm going to figure out how to mount that up there so it works appropriately. It'll swing around. This one is like, I don't know, 78 inches or long. So it's going to stick out almost to the sunroof. And then you'll be able to swing that thing around 270 degrees and great coverage for out camping and out on the trails, which I think will be cool. I'm a Yakima fan, and it's something I think I could take off and apply to the other side of the Sprinter van. And also I've got an LX with Yakima crossbars I can get on there as well. So anyway, let me show you the engine. All right, first off, I don't think anybody's heard a vehicle crank up that's got 24 volt. Most people in the US anyway, with the speed that this one does. Just turn of a key. All right, this is how fast. Is that not crazy? It's crazy. I got a little bit of a heat shield noise, but it goes away once the truck is heated up. So 2 batteries, right? Power steering fluid. It's got air conditioning. It works great. I just had to get the belt tightened up. Everything visual dipsticks for both the engine oil and tranny, and you know, your air filter box, all the fluids, all that stuff works, which is really cool. Very happy it all works and functions. This thing still has the toll road tag, electronic toll road tag for Japan, which is kind of cool. And I think it plays somewhat through these tweeters as well. And then on top of that, it's got a reverse when you put it in reverse, it's got the beep beep like you're an industrial truck backing up. Lots of buttons up here on the dash to engage your 4-wheel drive. You've got 4 high, you can put it in, then do your hub locks, and then of course go to the diff lock locks as well that are on that side over there. So it's well equipped for some heavy off-road use. And that's a 4.2 liter diesel, and it's non-turboed. It's not the Prado that you see a lot of when you do searches for JDM LandCruisers. The Prado is a 4-cylinder turbo. Now, you can get turbos on this 4.2 liter, and I've already started to look at it. You can put a turbo on it, and one of the things they recommend you do, you beef up the lower crank bearings. And I've seen they've put Subaru turbos in here. You know, you can buy aftermarket turbos. The Australians do a bang-up job, particularly when you go on YouTube, of a whole bunch of different options to add horsepower and torque to this motor. But this motor is legendary for how long it lasts. And it is, in true Toyota fashion, more motor than is needed for the vehicle in terms of, you know, the RPMs run really low. It's just like my LX. My LX at 80 miles an hour are running at right around 2,000 RPMs. It's geared well. It doesn't work hard, and that's one of the reasons it lasts so damn long, in addition to really well done components in the build process. But one of the first things I did when I got it, because I didn't know from the broker reseller in the Portland area, was I got it home and immediately changed out the air filter, and that air filter was dirty as hell. And I grabbed the air filter simply off of Amazon. And this is a part that, you know, is universal to a number of cruisers that have this style of air filter. And just did some searches online. This oil filter fits. It's a 90915 3000 0002. And I've got another one in here ready to go. And unique to diesels, well, they're in all vehicles, fuel filters, but the diesel's got a really heavy duty fuel filter, which goes right down here. I don't know if you can see that. Right there. And I still need to replace this. This is going to get screwed up under there and replaced. So much to figure out with this bad boy too, because this is a Ramsey winch, and it looks like a stinking robust winch. And I'm not sure if they lost the controller. Well, it's not in the car. So the remote controller that plugs in over here, 3-prong plug, is not with the vehicle. So I don't know why this is all hanging out. I do have a controller coming, and so I'll get a chance to see whether or not I can tell this is linked up all the way to the battery. So it should work. You can see right there, it's a little backwards, but there's the, you know, you can see it from here. It's a Ramsey winch. So I don't know if this is 24 volt, or if it's wired in such a way that's 12 volt. Not sure about that. But absolutely a lot to learn there as I move forward. All right, one thing I forgot to share. I got to tell you, most people would say this thing is probably rides like a slab of concrete, right? Because you got leaf springs front and rear. Now, it's not totally rudimentary. That's 4-wheel disc brakes, and it's power steering. But some would say that's a really rough ride. But it's not. It's actually a really compliant ride. And on top of that, this is so cool. This thing right here is a suspended seat with a shock back in here. There's shocks in here, and you just dial in the weight. You got to do a conversion to kilograms, from kilograms to pounds. And then if you don't want that turned on, you lock it out. If you want it turned on, you unlock it. So if you're on a really bouncy ride, both of these seats, driver and passenger, shock and move very slowly with the big hits. So it is so cool. So cool. I thought the other thing was neat too is, I mean, you know, when you go to interior body clips and all that stuff, right? You can break body clips on the new cars, break interior clips. Look at these things, are Phillips screwdrivers. You know, unbolt this baby and get to access or whatever you need to get to. It's just I mean, they don't make them like this anymore. I can tell you that. I already had one incident. Look at that baby. I'm not even sure what they call that, but I'm sitting at a stoplight and two young girls in a Corolla pull up behind me and they're looking at their phones and they bump right into me. This thing puts a hole right through her front fascia, front sort of grill, if you can call it a grill. Just smashed a massive hole through it. Nothing happened to this car. I felt bad for him. That's what happens when you're paying more attention to your cell phone, your mobile phone, than you are to driving. All right, it's 24 volt. What I don't know is like this radio right here. I don't know if that's a 12 volt or 24 volt. I got to figure that out because I don't know if I'm going to stick with the same radio, AM FM cassette. Get one of those old-fashioned cassettes that goes in that has a line out that you can plug into your iPhone. Or maybe convert that to a screen, nice good sized screen on there. Got some options to consider. But if anybody knows, is that a 12 volt or a 24 volt original equipment AM FM cassette? Because I don't know. So, all right, gang. I should say fellow van builders, because I feel like this still fits in to the van build genre. Even though, we all know, this is not a van. The back area right there qualifies as a van. But I've always wanted a diesel LandCruiser. I don't know why. I've just thought, you know, they're just the most robust, strongly built Toyota product in the world. And I finally acquired one. And here's kind of the, I don't know, diamond in the rough moment. This had 36,000 miles on it when I picked it up in Portland. And I put, I don't know, roughly 1,300 on it when I got down here. So it's 37 and change, 37.3. Had an oil change done, air filter done. Got to do the fuel filter. I got up underneath and all the Zerk fittings, greased everything up, drive shaft, everything I could. So this is going to make an appearance on the channel, because I think it applies to sort of that off-road camping. Now the Sprinter van's not an off-roader, right? In my case, I got a two-wheel drive Sprinter van, but it certainly hits that camping vein that is fun to do and important, and one of the reasons that build out will get done and more videos. Here's another little secret. I'm retiring in a couple of months, so I will have more time on my hands than I know what to do with, which is all going to get devoted to finishing the van, playing around with this, upgrades for all the vehicles in the fleet. And well, who knows, some vehicles could come and go, but the 2-3 vehicles to me that are closest related to van life, off-roading, etc., is definitely this new LandCruiser. For sure the Sprinter van, with a bunch of amazing upgrades to come for it and build out of the interior. And that Lexus LX, which is a LandCruiser. It's a 200 series, right? The LX is a designated 201. LandCruisers are 200. You take the shell off of that LX and it's a LandCruiser underneath. So as you can tell, I'm a big fan, and just can't wait to play around with these, share out what I'm going to do, provide some of that video content to you all so you can get excited about the possibilities, and maybe apply them to whatever projects you're working on. So anyway, thanks for joining me. Thanks for understanding the distraction that's really taken up a little of my time, along with a wedding and going out of town for a bit of a trip up to Yellowstone and the Tetons. I had a lot that sort of shut down the back half of August and first part of September. But absolutely more to come, and can't wait to share out more. So please hit that like button, please subscribe, and look for more videos to come. All right, be good. Bye-bye.